Hello. So it's been a minute since I posted a video. I'm not going to bore you with the details, but if you do want to have an update on how I've been doing and what I've been up to, then keep watching the video until the end and I'll do that then. And I'm just going to get started. So obviously, as hopefully most of you know, at the moment we're all being quarantined at home, and as much as it is the best way to prevent spreading the virus, it can be a bit boring to just be stuck at home. And something I've been finding myself doing a lot is playing some video games. And today I just wanted to share some of those with you guys. So as some of you may know, if you ever ventured over onto my short-lived gaming channel, I'm actually terrible at video games. I have no reflexes and I panic really easily when things get a bit too tense. So action-based games are just a no-go for me, and anything that's slightly creepy as well, I'm just not having it. So basically my favourite kind of games are the ones that are story-based rather than action-based. Anything where I am like walking around, investigating, talking to characters makes me happy. So today I'm going to share with you some of those kind of games that I've been enjoying recently. I'm playing on PC, but I'm pretty sure most of them are also available on like PS4/Xbox, stuff like that. So the first one I want to talk about is my absolute favourite game series of all time, and it's called Life is Strange. It was published in 2015 and it tells the story of this 18-year-old photography student called Max, and she basically realises that she can rewind time. I'm not going to give away too much of the story right now, but I can tell you it's worth having a look at. The game is really beautiful, the story is like really intense and really interesting, and the soundtrack as well is really good. I listen to the soundtrack pretty much daily while I'm working. The only main criticism that I have about it is that the characters are basically teenagers written by adults, and you can tell in the way they talk. It can be a bit annoying and cringy sometimes, but in my opinion that's not a big deal because pretty much everything else about the game is perfect. So yeah. They released a prequel called Before the Storm and also a sequel called Life is Strange 2. Those ones don't have the time travel aspect to them, but they're still very good. They just make it a bit harder to make decisions if you're like me and you never know what to choose when faced with a decision in a game. And at the moment the first episode of Life is Strange is actually free on Steam, so I really recommend going to download it if you haven't already because it's real good. And the next one I want to talk about is called What Remains of Edith Finch. So in this game you play as Edith Finch, a 17-year-old girl who goes back to her family home after her mum passes away. Basically you just walk around this huge weird looking house and discover what happened to each member of the family. Spoiler alert, they're all dead. You do find that out pretty early on in the game. The Finch family is actually believed to be cursed, with only one child of each generation making it onto adulthood. So obviously in that sense it is a bit sad to play, like the themes are a bit dark, but it's also absolutely gorgeous and the story is really captivating. I played it all in one go in 4 and a bit hours, I think. Some bits were a little bit creepy, so I had my housemate in the room with me for emotional support, but I'm a massive pussy when it comes to creepy stuff, so anyone that's normal will probably be absolutely fine with it. And I found that since I played it a week ago, the stories just stayed with me. So it's really one of those games that just stick with you basically, and I really, really recommend it. And in the same kind of style of What Happened to Everybody kind of game, the next one I'm going to talk about is called Gone Home. The premise in this game is very similar to the one I just mentioned, in that you're coming home and everybody's gone and you need to figure out what happened, but this one has a lot less death in it. is made a bit more creepy, I think on purpose. There's like a storm and it's nighttime and everything's just a bit weird looking, but I still really enjoyed it. I need to play it again actually because I played it a few years ago. If you look for a trailer for Gone Home on YouTube, you're going to find this trailer that someone made to make it look like a horror game, but it's not. So believe me, it's not a horror game. If it was, I wouldn't be playing it. And I really like the story because it's not really what it appears to be at first, and that's like my favourite kind of game. I think we're definitely starting to see a pattern here in that I'm a big fan of the where is everybody style of games. I'm sure there's like a more technical term for it, but I don't know what it is. So the next one in my list is called Everybody's Gone to the Rapture, which is a very self-explanatory title, and basically in this game you explore this really quaint little English country village in the 80s, and there's no one there and you're trying to figure out where they've all gone. And as you walk around you encounter these mysterious as you walk around you encounter these like mysterious balls of light, and when you interact with them they show you bits of the story through like silhouettes and voices and stuff, but you never actually meet human beings in this game, which makes it even more like eerie and strange. This game is definitely one of the ones that like stayed with me as well. I played it like years ago and I really still remember it really vividly. Moving on to a different kind of game, away from like the walk-in simulator kind of thing. I recently played a series of games called Orwell. So as the name might suggest, it's a very like Big Brother is watching you kind of game. In this game you work for a fictional government who has access to everyone's communications basically, and your job is to investigate a bunch of terrorist attacks. The interface of the game is really cool. It's all done through this like Orwell software, which basically just allows you to spy on people. Words. They use music to really emphasize some of the bits of the story and like add drama to the whole thing, and the whole investigation was really interesting to me and I really wanted to just find out everything that happened. And then in a similar kind of surveillance / investigation kind of style, I also played this game called Unheard. So in this game, basically you're able to hear every like dialogue that happened just before a crime was committed, and you're trying to figure out who committed the crime basically. So that's a pretty cool premise already, but what really got me was the actual plot twist at the end of the game. Obviously I'm not going to tell you what it is, but it really like surprised me and it made the whole game even better. Also, if you decide to play it, the opening makes it look a bit like a horror game, but it's not. Like, again, if I played it, it's not a horror game, so you're fine. Again, in the kind of investigating kind of vein of games, I also just played a game called Her Story. It came on. I meant to say it came out a little while ago, I can't remember when exactly, but basically in this game you just watch through some police interrogation footage of this woman and you're trying to like piece together her story. It's a really simple concept, but the story is really well thought out and it's not what you think it's going to be at first. And then they did a second game which's got different characters. This one's called Telling Lies. In this one you've got access to like one-sided recordings of like FaceTime conversations between different characters, and again you're trying to figure out what happened. Like when you start you don't actually know what you're investigating, which was a bit weird for like the first few minutes, but then I just got really into the story. Because each side of the conversation is its own video, it can be a bit awkward to play because there's a lot of just characters like staring at the camera saying nothing, but it was still a lot of fun like trying to get to the bottom of the situation. And they also had a bunch of really good actors. One of the guys that's in it is in You season 2 on Netflix, which was very strange to me. And last but not least, at least for this video, I wanted to talk about Night in the Woods, which is its own different style. I love this game. The art style is really unique and all the characters are really like endearing. You play as May, who's a little cat person who comes back to her hometown after dropping out of college, although you don't really know why at first. And there's a lot of different elements to this game, but basically she just hangs out with her friends, and she's also trying to investigate this really weird mystery that's got to do with the town and like one of her friends that disappeared. Even though the style of the game is really like cartoonish and the characters are basically just talking animals, they're all weirdly relatable, and there are a lot of important themes that I mentioned, mental health being one of the main ones. But yeah, that's it for today's video. But as I play my way through the whole Steam catalogue of story-based games, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have another list to share sooner or later, and I will link all the games that I've mentioned in the description if you want to check them out on Steam. So yeah, I really hope you enjoyed this video. I do apologise if the audio / the video quality / me was a bit awkward. I'm filming with a new camera, a new mic, and I also haven't filmed in absolute months, so I'm a bit rusty, but hopefully I'll just get back in the swing of things. And yeah, if you like this video, please make sure to give it a thumbs up to help me out, and if you want to see more of my random videos, then please subscribe. Now, for those of you who were curious as to what I've been up to since my last video, which was in October, I'm just gonna give you a quick summary of my life for the past few months. So in the summer, me and Jay, my long-term partner, actually broke up, and shortly after that, in September, I got a new job at university, which I really enjoy. It's really made a change to like my happiness levels, which is really cool. And then in October, I moved out of the flat that me and Jay shared and into a really cute little 2-bedroom house with one of my friends. And yeah, since then I've been doing a whole lot of different things and just not really had the time to film any videos. But I definitely missed filming and editing, even though this is really awkward for me because I'm not used to it anymore. But yeah, I really want to get back into filming and editing and posting videos. I just don't know how often I'm going to be able to. I am still working at the moment, which I'm really thankful for. Yeah, we'll see what happens. If you have any ideas of videos that you'd like to see me do, let me know. I'm not as into the whole makeup videos kind of thing anymore. I don't know, I just don't enjoy making that kind of content anymore, but I do want to talk about other things that I've been enjoying, so let me know. I'm gonna stop rambling now, and I will see you in my next one, whenever that may be. That was fucking weird, man.